Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me today is none other than the amazing Marley Harris, your new business and money mentor. She's been seen in Forbes, Fast Company, Business Insider, Women's Health, Yahoo Finance, and everywhere else, where she helps you create a life beyond your wildest dreams with expert mentorship and education to support your next level of freedom and wealth. Marley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. Let's go back in time. How did you get started?
I got started because I was a small girl living in a small town. I like to tell people my town was literally the size of a stop sign. And I grew up just desiring freedom like many others. I wanted to travel the world. I like to think of myself as a plant. I thrive in sunshine and in the tropics. And so to get started, what kicked off this journey for me was just wanting a life of time, location, financial freedom. And that brought me on this journey of starting my own business and really reprogramming my subconscious mind to align myself with that desire to create that as a reality for myself. So it started purely of just wanting to escape my small town, not wanting to experience winters, and it just snowballed into something so much greater than that.
Well, that is awesome. I'm sure the longer version is in a book somewhere. If not, it should be. So let's talk a little bit, because obviously there's been a journey from I want to escape my small town to what you're doing now. So take us through the highlights of that.
So when I graduated from university, I was at this crossroad. Either I could go into the corporate job that I always thought I wanted. I always thought I wanted the benefits, the car, the consistent income, the salary, because I saw both my parents as entrepreneurs, and I was like, nope, I do not want that. I want consistency. But, I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, you kind of have it in your blood and you can't really avoid it. So when I graduated from university, I made this scary decision to start my own business. And in the beginning, that was developing websites and logos and just helping people, really grassrooting it. I remember my first payment, I was a server and they gave me $500 cash, and that might as well have been like 5 million. I thought I was the richest person alive. I was like, this is so cool. Making your own money is the best. And then I really, for the first time, I feel like in my life, I started doing something that I was so passionate about. I actually loved being an entrepreneur. I loved seeing that the amount of effort I put into something, I got paid for that. And it was so cool to have this level of freedom. And so this business kind of, grew on its own. I got really into the world of personal development and mindset at the same time. And when I was growing that business, I took this trip to Australia. And this was the first time that I was working. This was in 2018. So digital nomads wasn't really a thing yet. It was just like something that they'd be like, digital what? Like no one knew what that meant. And so when I went to do that and I trialed, working from my laptop, working from anywhere in the world, working from Australia, I had this moment of like, wow, this is true freedom. Now, bearing in mind, my business was in the first year, so I was not making more money than I was spending. I was actually like breaking even. But again, to me, I had won the lottery. I was working from my laptop, I was working from cafes, and I was earning money. This was the coolest thing ever. And I was in summer, and it was just amazing. So when I got back home, I set on this goal of like, I don't care what I have to do, but I will make it. So this is my full-time job. This is the coolest thing ever. I feel like I had like life hacked life. But when I got home, week after I got home from this trip, which was about 3 months, my dad committed suicide. And that was the moment for me when I decided, okay, for the first time in my life, I've felt this level of purpose, this level of fulfillment, this thing that everyone talks about, but I've never felt before. And I don't know what's going to happen. There's no journey to grief. There's no how to book. Like I said, I'm from a very small town. This didn't just happen. Like this was the first time I've ever even heard of this happening. And I made a promise to myself, like, I'm not going to let this break me. I'm going to let this make me. So for the first time, because it was subsidized by the government, I could afford to go to therapy. And I started going to therapy. I started healing all of these parts of me, not even the grief of losing my dad, but all these things that had happened in childhood, all these things that I'd shoved down. And I started really healing, I think, for the first time in my life. And on that journey, I learned about many different healing modalities. I started learning about the laws of the universe and all these different modalities that had changed so many people's lives. And I started applying it not only to healing, but to my business and to money and to all these limiting beliefs that I had around money and business and what was possible for me. And slowly but surely, everything that I set the intention on doing started coming to fruition. And everyone was like, Marley, like, how are you so happy? How are you, living abroad, living in Bali, making all this money? And I started the corporate job offer that I had before I started my own business that offered me for a year's salary. I started making that a month. And again, I don't come from money. I was never raised expanded by money. This was just something I taught myself. And I was like, well, I'm just doing this. Like, are you guys doing that? And everyone's like, no, we're not doing that. And so I realized I had this like unique thing to share, which was when it comes to building a business or making more money, it's not about your sales page. It's not about your website. It's about what you believe is possible for yourself. Because when you change your beliefs, you change your reality. And I feel like that in turn of healing myself, and I mean, you're never fully healed. I'm still on the journey of healing from that grief, but healing, going through that traumatic experience, actually feeling better. And actually there was a point where I never thought I was going to feel better again. I didn't even know if there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but there is. With time, things always heal. And I started to feel better, and I started to look better, and my business started to become successful. And then, like I said, when everyone started asking about it, I was like, oh, wait, this is actually what, like, I don't want to be teaching you guys websites and brands. I want to talk about how to actually make you happy and make you feel successful and make you feel wealthy. And when I realized this kind of like thing that no one else was talking about, I took it upon myself to be like, okay, this is what I want to help people do. So for me and all of my clients, it's been around, if you want something, if you desire something, it's on the other side of reprogramming your limiting beliefs and reprogramming your subconscious mind. And for me and my clients, that's been the biggest, easiest, most effective pathway to getting them to where they want to be. If it's business success, if it's relationship, if it's health, it's literally everything.
That is an incredible, incredible journey. So, what are some of the biggest things that you see that are holding people back?
It's beliefs that they have that aren't even theirs in the first place. So your subconscious mind was developed between the ages of 0 and 7. Basically, you were a sponge, and everything that you heard, everything that you saw, everything that you were taught, you believed to be true. And you are now holding on to these beliefs at any age. If you're 28, 38, 58, 60, 108, you continue to hold on to those beliefs unless you decide to change them and reprogram them. But thankfully, because of neuroplasticity, we can now change them. There's actually a period of our in society when people thought we couldn't change our beliefs, but we can. And what I end up happening, what I see a lot in my practice, is that when we go to reprogramming these limiting beliefs, the fact of the matter is that this is something that you've been taught. You didn't come to the world with these beliefs. You know, babies don't come to the world with the belief that they're not worthy of money, or they're not worthy to become a millionaire. They're not worthy of, you know, holding on to money, or feeling like they, you know, are addicted to spending these things. This is things that you get taught, right? So what I'm seeing people get stuck with is that they're holding on to beliefs that aren't even theirs, and your beliefs create your reality. So whatever you believe to be true, there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating cortex, and it will delete, distort, and generalize and only see what is true for you. So if you consciously desire having more money, but you have a subconscious belief that you're not worthy of money, or that actually having more money is going to cause a threat in your life, your brain will do everything to avoid money making opportunities. And again, this is not something that you picked up and you were taught by yourself. This is something that you learned from others. So the magical thing is that you do get to clear that. And on the other side of clearing that is the money, the financial freedom, whatever you're desiring to call in.
That is beautiful. Who is an ideal client for you now?
My dream client is an entrepreneur who is looking to increase their income, a purpose-led entrepreneur, someone who really wants to heal, wants to help the world, who wants to make the world a better place, and has all these skills and this purpose that needs to be spread across the world. Like, the world needs you, but is sitting in fear and is sitting in uncertainty and questioning and feeling unworthy of their own success, and unworthy of receiving money, and unworthy of, unfortunately, making the change that they're meant to change in this world. And my ideal client, when they come to me, is I get to tell them and show them and teach them the way to clear all these fears so that they can step into their purpose, they can step into their potential and become who they're meant to be, and not get to the end of their lives and wonder why they didn't live up to their potential.
That is amazing. How, I mean, you've helped people achieve some amazing transformations. Can you share one or two with us?
Yeah. I think one of my favorite stories is one of my clients who had a interesting situation happen with her business. She was earning really well. Her business was skyrocketing. And then she started working with this new coach, and this new coach told her to do things different ways, maybe ways that she wasn't used to, and her business completely plummeted. She was making like $30,000 a month, and then she started making $2,000 a month. She was like, what is going on? And so she started working with me, and we addressed what the limiting belief was. And she had created this limiting belief from childhood of fear of being told what to do. It was like her brain created this massive fear that whenever she got told what to do, and when there was an authority figure, it completely put her into freeze. And so when we cleared that belief, we using the clear the fear method, we reprogrammed it so that she no longer felt fear of being told what to do. And actually, what we want her to believe is that she just needs to do things that the way she wants to do. You know, people can tell us what to do all day long, but if it doesn't feel good for you, you don't have to do it. So when we cleared that belief and we rewrote that story, she went on to make $25,000 in 7 days after. And it was just mad. So she went right back up to what she was usually making. Because like I said, our brain is going to delete, distort, and get rid of any ideas that are a threat to potentially what we do desire. So when we get rid of that fear, you automatically, naturally rise back up to where you used to be. And even though I work in this all day long, and it's like what I teach, what I do, it still like shocks me. I'm like, wow, that is so cool.
That is so cool. How do we identify what our limiting beliefs are?
So all you have to do is you just have to take a screenshot of your reality. Okay. Look at your bank account, look at your relationship, look at your health, look at your whatever you're looking to improve. Okay. And what I want you to do is I want you to make note of where you currently are and where you want to be. Okay. And then you ask yourself, this thing that I want. So let's say you want to start making $10,000 a month in your business, okay? What I want you to ask yourself is what is the threat to getting that?
Mm,
What about getting that goal is actually scary to me? So what responsibilities am I afraid to take on? Who am I afraid to lose? What am I afraid to lose? And oftentimes it really is associated with a fear of loss. Like, I'm afraid if I start making $10,000 a month, my partner will leave me, or my parents will try to take the money from me, or someone will try to take them. It's some sort of fear associated with loss of something. And because your brain doesn't want you to lose your tribe or your money, it will do everything to avoid getting to that goal because that goal has some sort of threat associated. So when you start to notice, and this is what we call the hidden advantage of, or the secondary gain, in NLP terms, when we establish what that is and then we clear that, then your brain will naturally move towards that thing because your brain naturally, automatically, without thinking, moves away from moves away from pain and moves towards pleasure. So when you remove the pain, it will naturally move towards that thing and we can reprogram that thing as pleasure. So the $10,000 a month no longer is pain, it's actually now pleasure. And then you will seemingly out of nowhere have this great business idea, meet this incredible person, be associated with this thing, and then you naturally get there. And it's really through uncovering what is the hidden threat to actually getting there. And if you haven't yet got there, it's because there is a threat to getting there. And when you clear that, then you naturally will move towards it.
that is amazing. You have helped so many people. What is your biggest challenge now?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Okay, this is going to sound very strange, but this will resonate for people listening. I feel like my biggest challenge right now is my comfort zone. So I feel like I started at like truly rock bottom. I had nothing going for me. I had no money. I had nothing. And kick starting and kicking your feet off the bottom is a lot more momentum than when you're like midway somewhere. If you have to imagine you're swimming and you need to get to the top of the ocean and you're at the very bottom, you kick off the ground, you can get that momentum to get to the top. But if you're just in the middle of the ocean, you have to get the momentum to the top, it's harder. And I feel like right now I'm in the middle of the ocean in the sense of I'm very comfortable. I have achieved more success than I ever thought possible. I have great relationships, great friendships, and it's my comfort zone that is my biggest problem right now because it's easy to stay here. It's easy to be in this zone where I'm comfortable, but I am not here to be comfortable. I'm here to create massive change and massive impact. And I think it's me holding me accountable to keep pushing, keep going, even when you're in the middle of the ocean, keep pushing and keep striving for higher things. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to be around people like yourself, to be around extremely successful people because they're the ones who keep you going. They're the ones who keep you pushing. And it's just to like to always keep yourself reaching for higher things, pushing yourself more, and not to settle with mediocre or settle with comfortability because that's not what we're here to do. Your wealth zone equals your comfort zone. So the more you push yourself out of your comfort zone, the more wealthy and honestly, the more fulfilled that I think you're going to be.
That is awesome. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I think it's my clients' faces when they finish a call with me or the feedback that I get of the transformations that my clients have had. It's honestly what keeps me going. And like I said, even though I work in this all day long, the truly miracles that happen every day from this work is my favorite part. I love being able to create miracles in people's lives. It's the coolest thing ever.
That is beautiful. Well, we know your time is incredibly valuable. We greatly appreciate you spending some of it with us. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Marley Rose Harris. Check her out at marleyrose.ca. Marley, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Seth. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks, everyone, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.